question addresses a common misconception regarding the installation of 2x4 lane fluorescent luminaires and the requirement for a junction box to be located within 6 feet of each fixture to limit the fixture width length. This is a common question that leads to a lot of confusion. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, does not explicitly state that a junction box must be installed within 6 feet of every lane fluorescent luminaire. While there are regulations regarding the use of flexible wiring methods, such as fixture widths, the code doesn't mandate a specific distance for a junction box relative to each individual fixture in this scenario. The use of a junction box near a luminaire is often a practical and code-compliant method to make connections. This helps facilitate easy maintenance and future modifications to the electrical system. However, the placement and necessity of such a junction box are governed by factors such as the wiring method used, the accessibility of connections, and the overall design of the electrical installation. In many commercial installations, such as the scenario mentioned, it is common practice to use flexible metal conduit, or FMC, or other approved flexible wiring methods to connect the luminaires to the branch circuit wiring. These flexible connections, often referred to as fixture whips, allow for easy installation, adjustment, and maintenance of the lighting fixtures. The length of the fixture whip is regulated by the NEC. Section 410.24b addresses the requirements for flexible cords and equipment grounding conductors. Section 348 covers flexible metal conduit, dictating its approved uses and installation requirements. These sections outline the conditions under which flexible wiring methods can be used and any limitations on their length. However, these sections do not dictate that a junction box must be within 6 feet of the fixture. The misconception may arise from a misunderstanding of the requirements for accessible connections. The NEC generally requires that all electrical connections be accessible for inspection, maintenance, and repair. This accessibility requirement is intended to ensure that any problems with the wiring can be easily identified and corrected. In the case of lane fluorescent luminaires, the connections within the fixture itself are typically accessible by removing the diffuser or accessing the ballast compartment. If the fixture whip is connected directly to the branch circuit wiring within the ceiling space without a junction box, the connection must still be accessible. This might involve ensuring that the connection is not concealed behind building finishes or obstructions. The decision to install a junction box near each luminaire often depends on the specific design of the electrical system and the preferences of the electrical contractor or engineer. In some cases, it may be more convenient or cost-effective to run the branch circuit wiring directly to each fixture, using appropriately sized conductors and connectors, and making the connections within the fixture itself. In other cases, it may be preferable to install a junction box near each fixture to provide a convenient point for making connections and to facilitate future changes or additions to the lighting system. Here is a more detailed explanation of the relevant NEC sections and considerations. Firstly, NEC Article 100 defines readily accessible as capable of being reached quickly for operation, renewal, or inspections without requiring those to whom ready access is requisite to actions such as to use tools, to climb over or remove obstacles, or etc. Secondly, NEC Section 300.11 covers securing and supporting wiring and cables. Wiring methods must be securely supported. This is important for maintaining the integrity of the installation. Thirdly, NEC Section 300.14 covers length of free conductors at outlets, junctions, and switch points. At least 6 inches, 150 mm of free conductor must be left at each outlet, junction, or switch point for making connections or splices, except where conductors are not spliced or terminated. Fourthly, NEC Section 314 covers outlet, device, pull and junction boxes, conduit bodies, fittings, and handhole enclosures. This article provides the requirements for the selection, installation, and use of these enclosures. Fifthly, NEC Section 314.16 covers the number of conductors in outlet, device, and junction boxes, and conduit bodies. This section dictates how many conductors can be installed in a box based on its size. Overfilling boxes can lead to overheating and unsafe conditions. Sixthly, NEC Section 410 covers luminaires, lamp holders, and lamps. This article provides requirements for the installation of lighting fixtures, including those using fluorescent lamps. Seventhly, NEC Section 410.24 addresses wiring of luminaires. It discusses requirements for connecting luminaires, including the use of flexible cords and equipment grounding conductors. Eighthly, NEC Section 410.64 covers the support of luminaires. Luminaires must be supported independently of the suspended ceiling unless specifically listed for support. This is a critical safety requirement. Ninthly, NEC Section 348 covers flexible metal conduit FMC. This article describes the approved uses and installation requirements for FMC. It's often used for fixture widths. Tenthly, NEC Section 348.20 addresses the securing and supporting of FMC. FMC must be properly secured and supported to prevent damage and maintain its integrity. While the NEC doesn't mandate a junction box within 6 feet, it does provide guidelines on using flexible wiring methods like FMC for connecting luminaires. Understanding these guidelines is crucial for a safe and compliant installation. The NEC requires that all electrical connections be accessible for inspection and maintenance. If a junction box is omitted, the connections must still be accessible. The length of flexible cords and conduits used for fixture widths is limited by the NEC to prevent excessive voltage drop and ensure mechanical protection. Refer to NEC Section 410.24b in the specific sections for the wiring method used. The size of the junction box must be appropriate for the number and size of conductors entering and exiting it, as per NEC Section 314.16. Overcrowding can lead to overheating and insulation damage. Proper grounding is essential for safety. All metallic components, including junction boxes and luminaires, must be properly grounded according to NEC Article 250. Luminaires must be supported independently of the suspended ceiling unless they are specifically listed for support, as per NEC Section 410.64. This prevents the weight of the fixture from damaging the ceiling. When using flexible metal conduit, it must be properly secured and supported according to NEC Section 348.20. This prevents strain on the connections and maintains the integrity of the conduit. The use of a junction box near a lay and fluorescent luminaire is not a strict code requirement. Instead, it is a design choice that depends on various factors. Understanding the relevant NEC sections ensures a safe and compliant electrical installation. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local amendments for the most accurate and up-to-date information. The absence of a mandatory 6-foot rule for junction boxes doesn't negate the importance of adhering to best practices for electrical installations. Proper planning, the use of quality materials, and adherence to all applicable codes and standards are essential for ensuring a safe and reliable lighting system. When installing lay and fluorescent luminaires, it's important to carefully consider the specific requirements of the installation. This includes the type of ceiling, the available space, the wiring method being used, and any local codes or regulations that may apply. By taking these factors into account, electricians can ensure that the luminaires are installed safely and correctly, and that the lighting system will provide reliable performance for years to come. In summary, while there's no explicit NEC mandate for a junction box within 6 feet of a lay and fluorescent luminaire, always ensure all connections are accessible, use appropriate wiring methods, and adhere to all relevant NEC guidelines for safe and compliant electrical installations. This approach will ensure a reliable and safe lighting system. Remember to consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer if you have any questions or concerns about the installation of lay and fluorescent luminaires or any other electrical work.